I think if you're on the fence, if you're skeptical about what does the world look like when you're not watching WWE, what is all this independent wrestling, I think the best that I could say to you is this is a harmless choice to tune into this show. Nobody's going to know. Vince isn't going to kick your door down and scream at you and yell at you for just taking a chance.
But let me ask you, are you guys here tonight? Are you all in? Stand up! Stand up! Tell me! Stand up! Are you all in? Let them know!
All in is about a feeling that I have in common with Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. Who is ready for All In?
We're not necessarily going to reveal a match order. We've advertised all but one, maybe two. No, I think just one match, and you can do the math on what that match is. But yeah, and we're not going to put our set list out there. We want you to ride the music with us. And we think we've lined it up in a way that it's difficult in this modern era of look down at your phone, look down at your phone, look down at your phone. Our attention spans have never been shorter, mine included. So the goal here is to keep you just glued to All In. I was talking with various members of the media about this the other day because I did a little phone tour talking about the show itself. This is different than anything that's been done in quite some time. And I know that sounds cliche, but WWE does what WWE does, and they're great at it. They've just made such a significant, impact in what was at one point a pro wrestling business. But for all the great things WWE has done, they don't own pro wrestling. So pro wrestling can look different ways. It can sound differently. And I think with All In, you're going to see what is that alternative.
Well, you go to wrestling shows, and we went to the show at Allstate Arena, and there was hundreds of our shirts just everywhere you looked. My name is Ryan Barkin, and I'm the owner of Pro Wrestling Tees. We are in the Pro Wrestling Tees store in Chicago. For me, I never expected it to be like this, so I started a custom t-shirt shop, and luckily Colt Cabana walked into my shop one day. The website itself started just because wrestlers had nowhere to sell their merchandise online. You can only get a wrestling t-shirt if you went to an independent wrestling show. So we came up with this idea to sell wrestling merchandise on the website all over the world. I feel like once we signed a deal with New Japan, that's when it really took off, and Bullet Club was just starting out. It was that point where I kind of realized, well, this is going to be big. We were selling, hundreds of shirts a day. From a merchandise standpoint, I mean, we signed a deal with Hot Topic, and the Bullet Club brand blew up. And then they were like, we don't want to do just Bullet Club. We want to do shirts for Cody and the Young Bucks, and we want to put their individual shirts in the stores, and those were selling like crazy. And when they said Chicago, I'm like, I'll put billboards on the highway. I have billboards all over. I'll put your billboard on the highway. I'll put your picture up there. It'll help sell tickets. I probably should have waited 30 minutes and then put the billboard up. We didn't really need it, but it's great for branding purposes. Expect there to be no parking and a lot of lines to get into our store. We're gonna have tons of exclusive merchandise. We're hoping to get a lot of things in within the next week that you can only get in the store. We have CM Punk coming here on Friday, and it's gonna be all day, 9 to probably 6 at night. We pre-sold tickets for that, but we're also gonna do walk-ups. Saturday we're throwing a big party at the Sears Center parking lot, and Sunday we have Okada coming in. Just based on everyone talking about how they were gonna come into Chicago and fly in, and they were so excited. I'm like, this thing has to sell. I'm like, you guys could sell out Allstate. Why do it at Sears Center? If this show goes well, I don't see why All In 2 can't be bigger.
I think it's bold for me to say lives will be changed. But if we look at the history of wrestling, how significant this is already without the show even having happened yet, I think it does have the potential to change some lives. There's just a young talent on this show in particular has the chance to walk out there and show himself off to the world for the very first time. There's those in the over the budget battle royal who have to find the way to maximize their minutes and stand out on free television. The first, time that's happened since, really since WCW, if we're being honest, to have that much nationwide, eyes potentially on the product.
Just don't be surprised if my first singles victory is your last match.
Steven, man, I did not know you were auditioning for comedies now.
I think that acting and professional wrestling have one very important thing in common, and that's that to the outside world, to an untrained eye, it looks so easy. It looks like anyone can do it. A fan watching on television sees roles being played or sees matches being wrestled and thinks, I can do that. I want to do that when I grow up. And after 25 years, I've become very possessive of professional wrestling because I've put every drop of my sweat, every drop of my blood, every ounce of my desire, my passion into professional wrestling. So you can imagine my shock and my frustration when I heard you, Stephen, I heard you, Stephen Amell, I heard you say out loud, how hard can it be?
Where do you feel from SummerSlam to San Antonio to now? This is your technically this is your third match, right?
This is my third match, and it will be my third match and fourth time in a ring.
It's pretty ambitious. Third match, singles match against a former world champion in front of the largest audience an independent wrestling show has ever seen. Very ambitious. Very
For
ambitious.
who?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Or for you for putting me on the card?
You know what the real deciding factor was?
No.
Dana Massey. Dana Massey is the biggest Arrow fan. That's Matt Jackson's wife.
No kidding.
You're her hero on this night.
Is she gonna be there?
Yeah.
Good.
You can't screw it up.
How hard can it be? Like you were contemplating solving a math equation or mixing up a quick cup of coffee. How hard can it be? And I thought to myself, CD, you're the perfect person to show him how hard it could be. You could tell him, Christoper Daniels, about what it was like to break into the business in 1993 when your trainers and their compatriots tried to weed out the people that weren't tough enough by beating on them over and over and over, hour after hour after hour, day after day after day, every training session you were in where you would come home bruised and spitting blood.
Three things, whether it's Arrow or like taking batting practice with the Jays or American Ninja Warrior, I just imagine that sitting in the audience, there's someone that thinks that I'm actually athletically or physically or mentally capable of doing these things, and I just try not to disappoint them, and so the sheer fear of embarrassment and failure will carry me.
You're a red light guy because the home run with the Jays, right?
Red light, yeah.
You're a red light guy.
That's right.
So
whenever I'm doing something in training and I'm having trouble, whether it's free running, doesn't matter, if I can't get it, just start recording.
there you go.
And I got it.
Or you could tell him, CD, about the time you went to a chiropractor because your neck was sore, and the chiropractor looked at your x-ray and said, young man, when did you break this vertebrae in your neck? Because it's healed over and scarred and become spurred, and your neck will never be the straight neck that you had when you were a young man. You could tell him that story. You could tell him countless stories of the travel schedule and the brutality and the fists and the kicks and the big bumps, falling from great heights and landing on hard cement.
We're improving upon the aesthetic from your first match.
Yeah.
We're going
The first match, the nice ladies with the WWE, I'm forgetting their name.
Julie and Terry.
Julie and Terry
Yes.
were like, all right, we're gonna do some gear for you for SummerSlam. I was like, I'm good. Just black shorts, black boots, black knee pads. I'm good. Second that I got out in the ring, and I was so pissed at myself for not.
Showbiz, man.
Yeah.
That's Jimmy Hart used to tell Jericho all the time because he wore black tights. He was like, man, you gotta get some color in there. Showbiz. Mm-hmm. We'll have it right. Big match, man. A lot of people looking forward to this match.
I hope so.
Yeah, a lot of people skeptical,
Yeah.
but looking forward to this match.
Well, it's like a freak show, basically. It's like the actors getting in there and you know, having, you know what happened when the first time that we fought against CD and I hit him with the Insigurity, right?
That head of his, you nearly exploded it.
I limped for a week and a half.
I wonder if he felt it because he wouldn't like me sharing, but his head has given me this scar and this scar here. His head is indestructible. When he gave me the boxer's cut, he didn't have a mark on him.
Oh my God.
Spotless.
You could tell him all of those stories, Christoper Daniels. Or, Stephen, I could just show you how hard it can be. I can step into the ring in the Sears Center and I can show you just how hard professional wrestling really is.
I would like to think that Triple H would watch the show because he has his finger on the pulse of young talent, of happening talent. I think Vince at this point probably just maybe a GIF watcher, maybe a YouTube clip watcher, but that'll all be there too. I hope everybody watches the show. It would be foolish not to. I sat and watched every minute of SummerSlam. I want to see what they've got. We're doing this one night. We're not going on TV and starting the Monday Night Wars over or anything like that. We're doing this one single night, and the fans are the ones who have afforded us to do it. Chicago has afforded us to do it, to make this a possibility. But no matter what else is out there on September 1st, with WWE, with Impact, it doesn't matter. Nothing is going to touch All In. Nothing. And I'm not the one who's making that guarantee. It's everybody who's on that show. Yeah, I'm the one who got all, kind of irritated at the Meltzer line and the fact that, he doesn't think we can draw 10,000 people. But it wasn't about anyone in particular drawing 10,000 people. It was about over 10,000 people and the potential millions that could be watching on home saying, yeah, I want something different. I want to know what that flavor tastes like. I love what I have, but I can love again.